Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Glenn Mills. It is time to go inside Utah politics. We do begin this morning with Alan Matheson. He is with the Point of the Mountain Land Authority, here to discuss the very latest on the development in Draper. Alan, welcome back to the show. We've been following along as the different phases come about. It's great to have you back on for another update.
It's good to be here. Appreciate it.
Before we get into the newest developments, let's first talk about the Point of the Mountain development. Just a quick summary. What is it? What it's all about?
Well, I think most people recognize and have heard that the existing prison in Draper will be moved in the near future. That'll open up 600 acres of land owned by the state, the people of Utah, and we're planning a future-focused innovation community at the Point. That's what we're calling this area.
Okay. Big developments during the week in the announcement of a development partner. This has been a process that's been going on for quite a while. We'll dig into more on that in just a second. But first, start off with who was selected and why.
Well, it's exciting for us to be focusing now on starting to get to implementation. We've worked with the public on visioning for the site, doing some of the planning, and now we're working on actually making it happen. And the partners who are going to help us do that is a team called Innovation Point Partners, which includes Lincoln Development Partners, a national well-known developer, as well as some local partners, Wadsworth Development and Colmena Development.
And during this process, how many different partners submitted bids for this?
You know, we reached out nationally and really tried to get a good distribution of some of the top firms, and that's what happened. We had 9 teams that applied in December, went through a very rigorous process, and in fact, I think those teams are exhausted after what we've put them through. But it narrowed the field down to 3 finalists in March. Had a number of meetings with them, workshops, sharing ideas, and they submitted their final proposals in June, and we've made the selection now.
So what was it about that proposal that rose to the top in the committee's mind?
Well, I'll first say absolutely outstanding teams. All of them we thought could have done the job well, but this team had a little better financial package that allowed it to provide better returns for the state over the long term. They had good experience in large mixed-use public-private partnerships, and we thought that some of their ideas for planning the site and implementing even beyond some of the enhancements we were looking for were really appealing.
We've been showing some images as we've been discussing this, but you look at it and it looks kind of energetic and exciting when you take a look at some of the finished product. Here we go again with some more. Mixed use. We're talking commercial, residential, everything right in this one location.
That's right, and we're starting with phase 1, as I said, which is a good place to start, and we're going to call it the hub. And in that area, we're going to have office, residential, retail, commercial, there will be entertainment. It'll be kind of a community unto itself. Central Park, part of the River to Range Parkway, and I think a place that people will want to be and gather and enjoy spending time.
The idea here is that someone could live there and be able to get everything right within their own neighborhood.
That's right. Now this site is ideally situated to be what they call a 15-minute community, meaning you can access the day-to-day needs of your life within a 15-minute walk. And that's certainly going to be the case in this phase 1. Real emphasis on transit access, on walkability, on mobility solutions that get people out of their cars. And I think that'll certainly help our air quality. It also is nice for convenience that you can live and work close by.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I don't live too far from the location, and it's fascinating to think of what it's going to look like by the time this is all done. During the process, there was this key visions elements that were really considered. Don't really have time to get through all of them, but just to name a few: community, transit, which you've already mentioned, economic opportunity, innovation. What role did that play in the process of picking the right partner for this project?
You know, those key vision elements came directly from public input. Those were the things that the public told us that they most wanted at the site. And so we looked very closely for partners that would deliver an innovation campus, a way that we can help solve challenges here, that really looked at sustainability, How can we generate fewer emissions and use less water and less energy? How can we make sure that we're coordinating with surrounding communities and continuing to listen to the public?
Let's talk about timeline now. Obviously, you start with phase 1 as mentioned, but there's still a operational prison on the property right now. When will we start to see that come down?
You know, we expect that this fall we'll start demolition on the site.
Okay.
And that'll wrap up early next year. We expect that you'll see some of the infrastructure going in the spring of next year, and by the end of 2024, we hope to see the buildings going up, coming out of the ground. It's exciting to get to this point. There are a lot of issues with the economy that we have to deal with,
Sure.
but we want to move this ahead and achieve the vision that we promised to the community.
You know, you just bring up something that I didn't even think about. When you take a look at inflation that we're experiencing right now, how is that impacting the process?
You know, like any development or anything in the economy, we have to look at what inflation is doing, what the demand for different types of use are. And so all of that we're monitoring very closely. We found that there's a lot of interest in this project, not just in the country, but around the world. So we think that there will be continuing demand and excitement to be part of the point.
Okay, so you mentioned we might start to see buildings go up the end of 2024. How long will this process go out? How many phases will there be, and how long will construction be going on?
We anticipate that the first phase will be built out probably in about 2033 to 2035, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And then future phases, of course, will depend on demand in the market, but it could be a 20-year process. I would expect that the demand that we're hearing about will drive it faster.
Yeah. Mayor Troy Walker has been a big part of this process. Yeah. Talk about the role of the city plays in all of this and how the city is viewing it.
We've loved working with Draper. They've been outstanding partners, and the mayor's on our board and has been a real leader. This is part of Draper, although it's all state-owned land. And so while we have land use authority, we understand that we've got to be great neighbors and have worked really collaboratively with the city. They've been supportive, providing resources. We want to make sure that whatever we do is consistent with their standards so that we can have kind of a seamless transition.
As the public continues to watch this process unfold, one that you've said is going to be maybe a couple of decades, but several years for sure, how can they stay engaged and involved and on top of what is happening?
You know, we've had a lot of public input. Over 10,000 Utahns have participated, and that's not over. They'll continue to do it. You can go to our website, thepointutah.org, and more immediately, we think that this site needs to have a defining iconic feature. And that's something we've heard from the public. We've started a survey to get input on what that feature ought to be that will help define this site and help define Utah. And again, you can find that on the website.
Okay, stay tuned, as we say, right?
That's right.
In the business. Okay, Alan, fascinating. Exciting to get to this point. I remember the first time we had you on the show, it was kind of hard to visualize, but now it's all starting to come together. So thanks so much for the update, and we'll be checking in with you again soon, I'm sure.
Look forward to it.
All right, thanks so much. Coming up, for the second time, a judge here in Utah putting